Hey guys, it's Ashley, and today it's time for another review and ramble video. And this one I haven't been practicing in my head at all, so this will be fun. The subject of today's review and ramble video is Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer, a mother-daughter team who decided to write this book together. And it was just really fun. This book came out a few months ago and it's been making the rounds ever since. But in case you haven't heard of it, let me tell you what this one is about. This is about a girl named Delilah who is reading a fairy tale. She's 15 years old, but this fairy tale just speaks to her. It's a nice escape from real life, and she enjoys the story, and she kind of has a crush on the main character. Who among us hasn't done that? But this is a little bit different because one day when she's reading the story, something is a little wrong. The picture looks a little different, and she's looking at this, and all of a sudden the character in the book speaks to her. The character that she is obsessing over and fangirling over and madly in love with actually speaks from the pages of the book to her and says that he's trapped in the story and does not wish to be trapped in the story anymore, and he wants Delilah to help him escape from the book. This is such an imaginative story, and it was just so much fun. I'd been hearing about it and I knew I wanted to read it eventually, but it just kind of, got pushed to the back of the list because there's a lot of books that came out recently and a lot of books in general, and so I just knew I was going to get to it, but just probably not for a while. But then I was on Book Outlet for their Black Friday sale and it was only a couple of dollars, so I put it in my cart and it came to my house. Then when I was doing the book haul, if you've watched my Black Friday book haul, link here, I was just flipping through and I noticed that this book has pictures, and I don't mean just like little drawings and things thrown throughout. I mean, it does have that. I'm talking like full color line drawing, gorgeous illustrations. So basically this book is set up really interesting. So you'll have like a couple of pages from the actual fairy tale that Delilah is reading. And then you'll have a chapter from Delilah's point of view. And then you'll have a chapter from Oliver's point of view. Oliver is the prince that talked to her that she's obsessed with and wants to get out of his story. That guy. So it's a dual point of view, but you're also getting a fairy tale woven in bits and pieces, and you're getting the drawings from the fairy tale thrown in, and it's just so pretty and it's so lovely. Look at how terrifying these mermaids are. Can you see that? They're so scary. This book gets 4 stars from me. I had a really fun time reading this. It was really enjoyable, especially as like an escapist novel, because we've all had crushes on fictional characters. And if you haven't, you're either a liar or you're not reading right. And here's Delilah, and she gets the chance to not only talk to the character that she's obsessed with in the book, but then try and get him out of the book so that he can be her real life boyfriend. So I just really enjoyed this story. There were just really fun characters. Oliver was really fun. I loved how every so often Delilah would say something that he wouldn't understand because he's only ever lived in this fairy tale book, and so he doesn't know like what computers are or like modern slang. And so that was really cute how they would just all of a sudden be like, what are you talking about? Frump was one of my favorite characters. Frump is Oliver's dog, but he was previously a boy that got turned into a dog by some evil witch, and so he was just a really fun character. Rapscullia was one of my favorite characters because he was supposed to be the bad guy in the story, but he wasn't really in real life. I loved that we got to see Oliver's perspective too, because we got to see what it was like to be trapped in a book and see what happens when the book is closed and nobody's reading, and see what happens to the characters. And so that was just really fun. Basically, it worked that all of the characters in the book are characters in a play. And so when somebody is reading the book, they're all on stage reciting their lines, moving like they're supposed to, but when the book is closed, they're still in that world. They're still like in the stage and backstage, but they're totally different from their book characters, and they have different interests and different likes, and some of them are aware they're book characters but others are not, and it's kind of funny to watch the interactions between the ones who don't realize they're in a book and think that this is real life. My biggest complaint with this book was Delilah. Delilah was a horrible person. Like, honestly, she was just the worst best friend ever. Like, ever. She was the most horrible friend. She was also a pretty bad daughter. She was just so obsessed with getting Oliver out of the book that she blew off everybody else. Even when her friend needed her, even when her mom was like freaking out and like, honey, you need to go see a shrink because you're crazy. She was just really a horrible person. Her best friend needed her. Her best friend needed to talk, needed her to come help her out, needed her best friend, and she was just like, oh yeah, okay, see you next week. No! You are a horrible person, Delilah. I don't care that you're trying to save somebody. At least he's safe in a book. Your friend needs you now. You can put the book down for an hour, go be with your best friend, and then come back and figure out the book. It's gonna be okay if you do. So Delilah just made me very angry. I didn't like her personality in that sense. She was a horrible person. So I would be interested to see the next book, because this is a duology companion set thing. There is a second novel, let's put it that way, but it takes place after this book. And so I would be interested to see if Delilah's personality has changed now that things are different between her and Oliver. I will read the next book. Like, I didn't hate her enough to not read the next book because I want to know what happens. The way the magic and the exchange system worked in the book was really well done. I liked that they tried all these different things and things were going wrong in bad ways and in good ways, and I liked how they came up with the final solution. I thought it was very clever. Overall, really fun book. If you just need something fun to read, something light, something silly, grab this one because it was really good. If you're a fan of fairy tales, if you've ever had a crush on a fictional character, you should go for this book. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've read between the lines, let me know what you thought of it down below. I would love to hear your perspective. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you later. Bye.